Welcome to the very first episode of All in AI, where we explore the future of artificial intelligence and why it matters to you. I'm your host, Kei Touch, and whether you're a student, a professional, or just AI curious, this is your front row seat to the future. This show is about real conversations, opportunity, access, risks, and how AI is reshaping every industry. What is AI? I'm glad you asked. Artificial intelligence is a set of technologies that enable computers to perform a variety of advanced functions, including the ability to see, understand, translate spoken language and written language, analyze data, make recommendations, and much, much more. Here at All in AI, we're building a space where everyone is part of the AI revolution, especially communities that have been left out in the past. Our very first guest is the perfect person to launch this conversation.
What you put in to the system is what you get out. And you've often heard garbage in, garbage out. Well, an entire group of humans will have to interrogate the data in AI, or what we call training. You put the stuff in and you make sure that it is correct. AI does hallucinate. It fills in the gap. So where there is no knowledge, it will fill in that gap. And then it will remember. So bad data, bad answers continue to grow within the system. That is the power of asking the right questions and looking at a person as the whole and finding solutions, and not simply using it as a quick research tool, but actually using it as a way of augmenting to the brain and to the knowledge and to the specialty of experts.
Yes, he is a digital visionary, a fierce advocate for equity in STEM, and the founder of STEM City USA. Let's welcome Doc Tyrone Taborn. Doc, it is so good to be with you, sir, again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And as I was going through the thinking, the first thing I want to say, I really want to dedicate this show to Coach. For those of you who do not know the advocacy and the power of Coach Butch Adams over the many, many years of what he did. And this guy understood. And so I think this show is very important. In fact, he brought us together.
Yes.
And I think that this very first show, I just want to dedicate it to him in heaven and let him know how much we love him, how much guidance he gave us, and we will continue to fight, and particularly in this difficult environment that we see. So, imagine what we can do with AI. That we can take all of the recordings that Coach did over the years, and we can actually take that information and put it into something we call a large model, a large language model. And in that model, he lives on. We can talk to him. We can get answers from him. You know, the idea of when you die, everything that you've acquired in your lifetime dies with you, that is absolutely not true anymore. That's absolutely not true. Now, everything that you acquired in your lifespan, we can actually capture and collect that information and pass it on to new generations, so that we're not starting at zero, but we're starting at where our end of the finish line was. That's the beginning of the race for the next generation. I mean, imagine how great all of that is. So thank you for having me on your show. I am so excited about the discussion we're about to have, because this is a discussion. This is really a discussion about the future of Black America. It's not a discussion about AI. It's a discussion about where we will exist as a group of people, and what we have to do and what we must do if we want to be anything more than economic slaves for the rest of our lives, and economic slaves for future generations. You know, we're not dealing with fun and games here. We're dealing with probably the most significant civil rights issue that has ever been put in front of us, and it's our generation. It's right now what we do to ensure what's going to happen tomorrow.
Wow, that's deep. And that's why we have All in AI. So no one is left behind. So you're saying this is the moment right now we need to pay attention. Let's go into that a little deeper with attention sure that we are.
Absolutely. Let me say this. Artificial intelligence is not a tool. So let me deconstruct this for you so that everyone can truly understand what I'm about to say. When we actually had an energy economic structure, that meant that we were able to harvest energy. You can bring energy into your house. You can actually take a plug and put it into the wall. Now, that was an economic culture that was created. Now, out of the industry of energy, other things were created. You wouldn't have a computer today if you didn't have the energy as a economic foundation, right? You wouldn't have a refrigerator if you couldn't plug that refrigerator in. But what drove all of that was the energy as an economic foundation that drove economic development in so many other places. You wouldn't have an electric car if that energy foundation did not happen. So now think about that. Anything you plug into the wall are apps. Just think about that, because this is important about what I'm about to say. Therefore, if you're able to plug a television into an outlet, that the television is nothing more than an app. If you're able to plug a car in, it's nothing more than an app, because none of these things would exist if you did not have the energy as the foundation of growth and of all of these apps. AI is the same economic foundation of energy. You will now see tons of industries being created because they can plug in to the wall or plug into AI. That is a huge difference. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that people understand what is the foundation of artificial intelligence and not just the apps that will be created because of artificial intelligence. So we're looking at truly about 4 ways in which you embrace artificial intelligence. Let me break that down for you. Number 1, artificial intelligence is based on when we look at artificial intelligence, we're looking at a disruption in existing legacy companies. So whatever exists right now, artificial intelligence will allow us to change that. Number 2, that means in the jobs that are being created, how do you, if you're a legacy company, if you're an IBM, if you're a dentist's office, if you're a doctor's office, if you're a hospital, how do you bring your skill set up to use artificial intelligence? Number 3, what are the people who are going to do the jobs that you're currently doing better? They're not even disrupting. I'm just talking about doing your job better. And that's why we've seen, for example, so many people leaving the workforce, because artificial intelligence is coming in and replacing redundancy in the workforce and taking people out of the workforce. And that's why you need to come to Women of Color and Black Engineer of the Year. And that's why you need to understand what we're talking about so that you're not being replaced. Artificial intelligence will replace you. And more importantly, people who are using artificial intelligence will replace you. So if you're not listening to me, if you're not attending our courses, you're at a major disadvantage. So that's another part. The other issue here is that artificial intelligence will create what we call disruptions. That means new businesses are being created, right? So what is a disruption? Well, a disruption is something very clear. You used to be able to pick up the phone, call your travel agent. Your travel agent would get you a ticket on the airplane and bring your ticket over to you, right? A disruption is now you probably have never walked. You're so young and lovely and beautiful and all of that other good stuff. But here's the reality. You probably never in your life have walked into a travel agency.
No.
You do it online. That's disruption. You probably never, you drive a car now. Remember what that disrupted? All of those horse and carriages that existed before the car, right? So these are new technologies absolutely disrupt every single thing. Now, in the final part that I want to talk about, well, number 4 and number 5, because these are really critical pieces. New industries that are being created, not just the evolution of technology, but new things that are created. Look at Amazon. Amazon took what people were using with the Sears catalog. You remember when you used to get them catalogs as a little baby?
No.
And you go through, you too doggone young. But, we used to get these catalogs that would come to the house, and they were 300, 400 pages from Sears and Roebuck. And they would ship these catalogs in, and you would look at these catalogs and you would pick things and you would call. Well, Amazon revolutionized that using the internet, and they changed things. So you will be looking at not only the opportunity to evolve past technologies, but to create new technologies. For example, video conferencing did not exist, but here we are now. So how do you become involved? The way you become involved is in a lot of different ways. You can invest in technology. You can learn it by coming to BEA, Women of Color, and getting certification. These are some of the things that you can do. We're facing a brand new world in what I call generational technology.
Wow. This is really exciting stuff right here. And do not be afraid of artificial intelligence. We are here to help you embrace artificial intelligence. Right. Again, the future is now. The future is now. And on the other side, we are going to get into how Career Communications Group, that's ccgmag.com, is actively empowering youth and professionals. You are here with All in AI with Kei Touch and Dr. Tyrone Taborn. Stay with us.
Thank you.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Welcome back, Doc. Let's talk about STEMcityusa.com. What role does this digital space play in AI access and education?
It plays a very huge role. And I'm glad that you brought that up. I struggle with this issue about what tomorrow looks like for our kids. Because many of our kids never had this struggle. They never really understood what Rosa Parks did, or what Martin Luther King did, or so many other civil rights people did. I don't want to use the words that our kids are soft, but our kids don't have the history of the struggle. So they don't know what's being taken away from them right now. every single day. And not only do they not understand what's being taken away, they don't know how to fight because they never had to fight. Because your mom, your grandmother, your great grandfather, the millions of Black people who died coming to this country, refusing to be slaves, all of those people who sacrificed themselves for us to have what we have. So we don't know how to fight against all of these things that are being taken away. So STEM City USA and the artificial intelligence that we are creating memorialize, and it captures that history so that you can come to our platform. You can understand the past. You can understand history. You can understand how to fight back, how to make sure that equality exists for all people. And that's what the STEM City platform is truly all about. It's including everybody, whites, Blacks, Jews, people of all genders, people of all choices. They've got a home. They've got a place that's safe on this platform that we've created. And not a platform that separates us, but a platform that brings us together. And that's why I'm so proud of the work that we've been able to do on the STEM City platform, and using AI and all of these other very positive tools if you use it correctly.
So, Doc, let's just take it there. STEMCityUSA.com is the metaverse.
It is the metaverse.
Explain to everyone what they will see going into STEMCityUSA.com versus any other website. And let's explain what a metaverse is.
Well, a metaverse is truly a digital twin of the world around you in some version. Metaverses have always existed. A metaverse used to be the chat, long time ago, people would pick up the telephone and they would have a party on the phone. You would call people in and all of you guys would have a chat conversation. That was a metaverse. What STEM City is the digital side now of bringing communities together and duplicating what you can do in a real life. Whatever you can do in a physical life, you're able to do on a platform like STEM City USA. So this particular conversation, we're probably having it right now in the metaverse. And other people can hop in and participate, and that's a great thing. Now, when we take the metaverse, and this is a little bit more technical, but we actually take the metaverse and we put it under a blockchain, which means that we're able to digitize everything we're doing so that you can own every single thing that we're doing on the metaverse. That creates an economic sell it. So we have something very very different that's happening that we've never been able to do before. Let me break that down one last time. What is blockchain? Just imagine this. The people who own the data currently are the people who own the hardware. So when you take out your American Express card, your Visa, your debit card, any of that other nonsense, when you take those cards out and you make a payment, that information goes to the people who own the hardware, right? So it goes to Visa or American Express. Once they have your data, they own you because it's on their hardware. When we look at blockchain now takes that data away from the hardware so that that data can be owned by you. So the hardware is only a way of exchanging data, but not storing the data. Now your data stays with you. And if your data stays with you, you're able to sell your data to anybody you want to do that. Blockchain is revolutionary. It means that we move away from hardware being the solid owner of information to bringing it to the individual who's able to own their own information. And once you can own your own information, right? The buyer is in the eye of the beholder, right? I don't know what it's worth, but somebody might like, somebody might like my poems, and automatically they can buy it from me without having to go to Visa or MasterCard. So these are some of the revolutionary things that are happening. So when we look at AI and we take AI, we also look at AI from the perspective of how do you roll that out? Well, STEM City is the platform in which you can take AI and put it on our platform called a digital twin and put that out to billions of people across the globe.
Across the globe, STEMcityusa.com. Visit the metaverse, STEMcityusa.com. Doc, let's just be real. Everyone isn't excited
one of the things
about AI. Go ahead.
No, just one of the things I think that you're so great at, and I don't know if people know your history as a veteran and what you've done for our country, and I salute you for everything that you've actually done and how wonderful a person that you are, and what it took for you to sacrifice to defend the rights and freedoms that we currently have. So there's some challenges that we have with artificial intelligence. And that is why you need to do training at Women of Color in Baya. So we can talk about the ethical parts of artificial intelligence. We've got a serious problem here. We've got a problem that this technology that we are rolling out has been the most quickly adapted technology that we've seen in our lifetime. It's everywhere. And the problem is that we really don't know what this technology is capable of doing. And we really don't know what bad actors can do with this technology. And what do I mean by that? Well, this is powerful technology. Somebody can create a damn virus that kills hundreds of thousands of people using this technology. So who are the gatekeepers? Everybody's rushing now to rushing, not as in the Soviet Union, but rushing to get their positions out here. And it's dangerous. So what are we trying to do? What are we trying to do with STEM City USA and other things? One, we want to teach how to use artificial intelligence in an ethical way. We also want to track the bad actors as well and ensure that we don't have bad actors out there doing things that are really going to hurt our communities. I was talking earlier today to a former senator from Maryland, and I said, close your eyes for a minute and imagine what the future really looks like now if our communities do not embrace AI and understand AI. Imagine for a second that the Black community only uses AI as an application, writing emails, looking up recipes, and that's about it, right? So what the future looks like is this. You've got rid of immigrants. So who's going to go back and pick the cotton? Who's going to go back and pick the tomatoes and everything else? Well, if Black people aren't educated and AI are taking over the basic jobs that Black folks could have done, and folks can't get health care, where do they go? Well, they're the ones who are going to go back into the fields. They're the ones who are going to pick the cotton. They're going to fill those low-hanging jobs. You have seen right now, when you look at Wall Street, you have seen the highest concentration of wealth in the history of our country. The middle class and lower middle class are becoming absolutely poor. And the richest people, largely tech, right now, are concentrating a lot of the wealth. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's the reality of what's happening. Black people don't own Meta. They're not into a lot of this high-tech stuff that I'm talking about. So that means that they become largely at the very bottom, and they will continue to be at the very bottom. And they will have no opportunities and no pathways into the future. I mean, we're talking about real stuff right now. And every day you turn on the news, you should be able to see what is happening and what will happen to the community of people who look like you and people who look like me. It's hard when you're trying to awaken a community that doesn't want to hear. There's a fire on the mountain and nobody seems to be running.
Fire on the mountain.
Fire on the mountain and nobody seems to be running.
This is the real talk we're having right here with Tyrone Taborn. We've been talking about STEMcityUSA.com. You should visit that for your own experience in a metaverse. You keep hearing the term meta. We've heard meta glasses. We've heard Facebook change to meta. So if you want to experience meta yourself, a metaverse, Go to stemcityusa.com. Real quick, I want to do AI fact or fear. Are you ready? Just
I'm
real
ready.
quick responses. All right. AI will replace most jobs in 10 years. Fact or fear?
Fact.
Bias in AI is already causing real world harm. Fact or fear?
Fact.
Black and brown innovators are shaping the AI future. Fact or fear?
That is a fact.
That is a
And by the way, those are people like Dr. Mark Dean, people like Gary Sims, people like Linda Gooden, people like Dave Stewart. All of these are folks. We are engaged. We're doing this stuff. We've created, believe it or not, people like me. I have helped to create this stuff. We are involved, and that's why when I tell you what is happening, you should listen.
We are listening. All in AI. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, getting the message out there so people are not concerned or not afraid to embrace AI. We've been having real talk here with Tyrone Taborn. On the other side, we're going to discuss the path forward. The path forward. Practical steps for getting started in AI. I'm your host, Kei Touch, here with Doc Taborn. Stay with us.
Welcome to STEM City USA, your virtual city where science, tech, engineering, and math come to life. Explore cool careers, join live events, and level up your skills while having fun. You'll meet other students just like you, future engineers, coders, and creators. And the best part, it's free, and it's made just for you. Your future starts here in STEM City. Visit STEMcityUSA.com, tap in, learn more, build your future.
Calling all future STEM pioneers, leaders, and career champions. Join us on every second Saturday of the month for the BEA Career Day. BEA STEM Career Day is all about creating opportunities for students to venture into the world of STEM through the eyes of professionals. You'll meet mentors and presenters that will give you a sneak peek into the many options available to you in the field of STEM. Hosted by teen ambassadors, you'll find yourself among inspiring peers just like yourself that are aiming high for their future. To take part in the BEA STEM Career Day on Zoom, visit fullstemhead.us and register for the next session. Again, that's fullstemhead.us. BEA, becoming everything you are.
A world of careers unleashed. You can get it at BEA. Become everything you are.
Wow.
Welcome back. So, Doc, for people watching right now, they're like, I want to get engaged in AI. I don't know where to start. Where can they get started today, right now, engaging themselves in artificial intelligence?
There's a couple of ways you can do that. Number one, simply visit STEMcityUSA.com. Just experience that moment. We have an upcoming conference in October here in Baltimore, the Women of Color Conference. Show up. We're doing AI certification. And for those of you who don't have the money, we're not going to turn anybody away. If you don't, just show up. We will get you into the event. We are not going to turn anybody away for a future that means absolutely everything for our nation and everything for our community. I've been doing this more than 40 years, and I hope my face doesn't show that, that 40 years. I started when I was a teenager. I was a social activist. I've always worked for our community. I've always worked to open the doors for people. For me, this is not a business. It's never been a business. It's always been about a kid who came from the ghetto. And other people open the door to me, and I feel I have an obligation. I have a mandate to keep the doors open that were open for me. And that's what we've done at Career Communications Group. And that's what I live and breathe. And anybody around you will, anybody who knows me will tell you exactly what I've just said. I'm passionate about equality. I'm passionate about making sure that women have an opportunity and that they're paid well. I'm passionate that a Black kid doesn't have to sit on a corner and be a squeegee kid, when in fact we can train them and get them a decent job and a decent opportunity. I'm passionate about these issues. And I cry every single day now that I see, every single day I see all of the pillars, all of the legs of the chair being removed for our community. Opportunities like, from the National Science Foundation, there's no money. Money being pulled from the HBCUs, money being pulled from research, money being pulled from vaccinations for our kids, money being pulled from Head Start. That we're creating a permanent class of underclass people who look like you, that can be nothing more than servants, nothing more than slaves. And the technology like AI and others is increasing that. That your daughter, your grandkids, the generations in front of us are going to be nothing more than slaves. This is apartheid we're dealing with. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because I don't think people consciously, I don't think most people, there's some people who very clearly want to see that happen. But the majority of people, the majority of Americans are good people. And they just don't understand, or they just don't see what's happening in front of their very own eyes right now. So what we need to continue to do is use this technology and find ways in which to involve our people. Let me say this. I was extremely disappointed. We had a $2 million earmark in Congress. And the day before the vote on earmarks at the Senate Appropriations Committee, the day before, that night, we got cut. We are the only existing platform in the state of Maryland that teaches AI certification for our youth. Wow. Not Black, not white, not Asian, not Hispanic, not gay, not whatever other languages you want to use, for kids in the entire state. We are the only ones that have training and certification training curriculum in play. So if these kids, they can't get it in schools because schools aren't even offering what I'm talking about. And so again, we are making a decision right now to put a whole population into permanent slavery. I don't want to sound radical because you know I'm not a radical, but I am using radical language because I want you to understand the significance and the seriousness of what we're up against. But at the same time, we can turn it around. And that's what we're trying to offer.
Wow. Wow. All right, Doc, we're going to have a little fun, lighten it up with the lightning round.
All right.
We're going to do rapid fire questions. 1 minute each. Yes.
Let's do that.
Yep. First AI tool you ever used?
Email.
One bold prediction for AI by 2030.
The first billionaire will come from AI. A single company run by one person will be a billionaire using AI tools.
What's the biggest misconception people have about AI?
That it will replace human work.
If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice about the future, what would it be?
Relationships are everything. Your word matters. Build a network.
Okay. And Doc, I want to go back to your previous conversation a little bit. And I think that's why it's really important that we continue to expose all of us and all of those who have been very successful in STEM, all people of color, and expose them so other people see that there are people who look like them that are doing this. It is one thing to tell a child, you can do whatever you want to do. It's another to show them someone who looks like them, that has been through probably more things and more challenges than them, that have been successful in this field. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, let me roll back for a minute. You asked me what I would tell myself.
Okay.
Take care of your health. Don't let people define you. And what I mean by that is taking care of your health. I wish, we live in a society where you are being fed the worst foods and everything else. It's not you. And then people tell you that you're overweight, you're this and you're that. But you're living in a society where over 60% of Americans are obese. That's not an accident. That is because what's being put in front of you. And so now we've created this problem of people being obese. And we're shaming them. And you're constantly doing diets and all this other nonsense, ups and downs. And you're really destroying yourself. And you don't feel good about who you are and what you are. If I could go back, and if I could use the tool that I've already created in AI, which is my health fitness, that looks at what I'm doing and it gives me the information, that's what I would use. Because you live in a culture where you hate yourself. Because you can't fit the perfect image. And I look at you, you're a beautiful woman. I look at other people, they're beautiful people, but they may look overweight and all these other things, and it's not your fault. You can't get good food. You've been fed this stuff from the very beginning. And now all of a sudden you got to lose it, and now you're going to put a needle in your arm, and you're going to do all of these things that don't really help you. At the end of the day, I really, really, I cry now that at my age, I look back and I look at it, I really do cry at what's happened to an entire population of people who really, really hate themselves in a particular level. So anyway, I just I'm off my soapbox. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I support anything in the current that other people are saying around the world. I'm just telling you that we've got to understand and take care of our bodies and our health.
Doc, this has just been great. You have given us some great information, great perspective, history. We've talked about STEMCityUSA.com, Career Communications Group. And I just want to challenge everyone to visit ccgmag.com, STEMCityUSA.com. You want to know where to get started? There you go. CCG Mag, they're always having trainings, career fairs, all these opportunities. So all you have to do is take that step and visit those sites. Doc, what's the message you want to leave with us, especially those who have not been embraced or are not a part of the AI conversation or don't even understand AI?
The future started yesterday. And what we do today has a major impact on tomorrow. You're never too late to get into the game. We are at the beginning, not the end, of a generational technological revolution. We're at the beginning and not the end. There's room for everybody to participate. I strongly encourage you to join with us, to join with the people who helped to create this technology, to join with us so we can show you the pathway, a pathway to better health, a pathway to wealth, a pathway to becoming everything you are. Show up at the Women of Color Conference in Baltimore in October. What's holding you back? If your employer won't pay for you, you're already on the chopping block. Show up at Black Engineer of the Year in February in Baltimore. If your employer will not pay your registration, you're already on the chopping block. You just don't know it. You need to show up in order to not be shut out. You need to step up, show up, because you will be shut out. I hope to see you. But, it's your decision. It's what you want to do with your life. And if your decision is that, hey, I'm going to just sit by, AI is going to take your job, or somebody who's using AI is going to take your job. Be in the welfare lines or be in the unemployment lines, that's up to you. I've got a pathway I've got a plan for you. And I hope that you take advantage of it.
Wow. I'm inspired. I'm inspired, Doc. I'm definitely inspired. Again, take your time, visit these websites, ccgmag.com, stemcityusa.com. Look, the future's in your hands. We are here to guide you. The future is now. It's right now. We've had some real talk today about AI, and that's what it's all about. Doc brought it home and let you understand the importance of embracing and engaging. It's not to scare you. It's to make you aware and educate you of what's coming, what's here, what's being developed, and how you, yes, you, can be engaged and embrace AI too. Thank you so much for being with us today. Tyrone Taborn, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Love you
so much. Yes. Look, thank you for joining us on this powerful premiere of All in AI. And don't forget, we will see you in Baltimore for the Waves of Change STEM Conference, October 23rd through 25th. You can always visit ccgmag.com and get more information. Tyrone Taborn reminded us that the future of AI does not belong to Silicon Valley.
There you go.
It belongs to all of us. And this show is here to make sure no one is left behind. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kei Touch. Thanks again, Doc.
Sometimes we don't even know what we don't know. And we don't know who we can talk to. But it's organizations like this where you can have those conversations so that you don't feel isolated. What do I need to know to get there? Okay, I went to college, I got the degree, I got a master's or I got a PhD. How do you make certain that you know what you're supposed to do and how to navigate a corporation within? That's huge. That's huge. Sometimes we don't have a family member in our circle. Sometimes it's somebody that we knew 5 years ago who can bring some information to the table. We have to be able to dial a number with people that we know understand what we may or may not be going through, or what we need. So if you're getting a PhD, but you didn't know that you also needed to do something else or not, who's there to be able to talk to you and help you navigate your career? People who've already had that experience that you can just call up and say, I just had this experience and it didn't feel good. And somebody's there to talk you through it. Life isn't always easy in corporate America, but you've got to build your circle.
This year, the tide is stronger than ever. For 30 years, we've been creating space for growth, innovation, and global competitiveness in STEM. From students and early career professionals to senior leaders and executives, this is where STEM changemakers gather. Join us in Baltimore for the 30th anniversary of the Waves of Change STEM Global Competitiveness Conference. 3 days of learning, networking, and shaping the future. October 23rd through the 25th, Baltimore, Maryland. Mark your calendar. Waves of Change, Oceans of Opportunity. More information at ccgmag.com/WOC.